Welcome to Violet Connie Art, something a little bit different today. I'm going to show you how to draw this very sketchy looking lion on Tantone paper using black and white charcoal. First I indicate the edges of where I want to put my lion on the page in a square, and I don't draw the whole square, I just put little lines. And then in the top half of that square in the center I draw a circle, and then on top of that I draw an oval with half the oval in the circle and half the oval outside of the circle. And the top of the oval actually want to start from around the center of the circle. It gives you about the right height for that oval. After that I change the top of the circle into a little heart shape. From the top quarter in the center of that oval I draw lines out upways to make a little triangle and draw little ovals on the end of each of those lines of the triangle for the eyes. For the nose, it is a flat triangle shape, and then I draw a line down from the center of that, and where the circle and the oval intersect, that is where you can start to bring the mouth down and start to draw the mouth. After that, I'm going to draw some indications in where we're going to put his big mane, and also fix up the heart shape at the top of his head and putting it off to the side above his left eye on the picture, because he has got a 3/4 view of his face. Continue drawing indications of his mane around both sides of his face. Then draw some small indications of where his ears will be on the top of his head, the right side ear being slightly higher than the left side ear, which is in a half view. After that, going to quickly draw a paw sticking out because he is lying down, and then you'll see here you can pause the video to check your sketch. Next you want to erase your sketch as much as possible until you can barely see your sketch, because charcoal does not like drawing on top of graphite, so it's very important to get as much of that off as possible that you feel confident erasing. Next we're going to use the charcoal to go over a lot of the lines that we put down initially with the graphite and just block in a lot of the shapes. You don't want to go too darkly here at the beginning because we're going to come back in and do really dark darks later, but I just want to give indications of where the shadows are and where some of the darker spots on his face will be. So continue laying down the charcoal in the same manner that I am doing on the video here. And don't forget to keep your sketch really loose and sketchy looking. That's why it's called a sketch, so it's nice and loose and free. And notice how I'm holding my pencil really quite far back to keep that looseness about my sketch. Okay, so I've slowed the video down even further a little bit here to show you the eyes. So I just lay in a really dark outline for the eyes, and then a really light layer of the black charcoal, and then quite a heavy layer of the white charcoal, and then go again over it with the black charcoal. And that gives the eyes a really smoky grey look to them without having to go about doing any detail in them, but gives them that intense stare still. Continue laying down all of the sections of kind of dark to medium parts on the lion, as you can see on the video, including drawing in his cheeks, the shadows under his cheeks, indication for where his whiskers would come out if we were doing more of a close-up, indications for his ears and the dark spaces inside of his ears, and also some indications of parts of his mane that are not going to be highlighted with the white pencil. Coming up shortly there is a spot to pause the video to catch your sketch up to where mine is, and you can see that mostly the bulk of the lion's shape and the look about him is already done and on the page. If you follow along with this tutorial, go and hashtag #LookVioletConnie over on Instagram, because I would absolutely love to see your drawings of this lion. Pause the video here if you need to. Now for my absolute favourite part of doing pictures on Tantone paper, using the white charcoal pencil to add in the highlights. So you can see here I kind of flick back between using the black charcoal and the white charcoal occasionally, but mainly this section is about getting the white charcoal down on the page. So I've highlighted down the left hand side of his nose, so the picture the light would be coming from the left for this particular image, and all the way down the left side of his mane, on top of his left ear, on the top of his paw and leg, and also above his eyebrows, on the left side of his chin. And then you really want to put them really quite heavily. So you can see that I actually go back over a few of the sections to make sure that they're nice and dark, and if I've accidentally got rid of black lines that I wanted, I bring back in the dark charcoal and go over it again. Just have to be careful and very light with the touch when you're doing this, because it can cause a grey colour and you don't particularly want that on the image. I'm going to add a few highlights down the right hand side of his mane, but don't go too crazy because that's not the side where the light is. And you can pause the video to put all your white sections in here and catch it up. Okay, so now we've done the white section, we're going to go back in with the black charcoal, and we're going to really go in with quite a heavy hand. This is the part where we're going to put in the really dark darks and bump up the contrast to really make him pop off the page. Also, just like before, if you find any places that you have missed with the white charcoal, don't be afraid to swap pencils and just chuck in a little bit more white and then go back to the black. And then here you can see that I am blocking in a large section of black charcoal for the main part of his body, which is mostly in shadow. And I kind of flick my charcoal up into the mane to make the bottom part. It's kind of like you would do negative painting if you were using watercolour. So you flick your pencil up into the mane to make those strands more apparent. Coming up is a section to pause the video. Don't be afraid to go really dark with those darks and really get that contrast in there. Next, you just want to go over the entire image and just put in your lights and darks and go over anything that you think is lacking or anything that you think is needed to be added to the picture to make it pop off the page and look more like a lion. And don't forget to keep your lines extra sketchy and loose throughout that process. For the grass section underneath the lion, I used a white charcoal pencil in a diagonal motion facing up and towards the right, and then I loosely sketched in some black charcoal over the top just to give it a little bit of shadow in amongst that, so it's not just a straight white colour, it's kind of that nearly grey colour. And don't forget to sign your work. And that is it. That is the completed lion. Here's a close-up shot for you, and then in a moment there will be another shot so that you can have another look and pause the video if you wish to do any final touch-ups. This lion's a really nice way to fill this page in your sketchbook in a nice sketchy loose way without too much stress. If you like the format of this video, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear about it, and if you would like a tutorial on how to draw another type of animal using charcoal, I would love to hear your suggestions. If you've enjoyed this video and you found it helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the little bell so you're notified every time I put a new video up. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.